miracle of the Rockies, the amazing survival of Sam Benastick. Throughout history, we have witnessed how nature in all its splendor can become a setting as beautiful as it is terrifying. Vast and remote places that promise adventure and peace, but that hide mysteries and dangers that have led many people to disappear without a trace. Cases such as the phenomenon known as Missing 411 make us wonder, what happens in those moments when someone simply vanishes? What goes through their minds as they face the unknown? Today I will tell you a story that did not end in mystery, but in a miracle. A story that will make us reflect on human strength and the connection between man and nature. This is the incredible journey of Sam Benastick, the young man who conquered the Canadian wilderness. On October 7th, Sam Benastick set out for Redfern-Keily Provincial Park, a vast protected region in British Columbia, Canada. This park, covering more than 4,000 hectares, is known for its inaccessibility, its dense forests, majestic mountains, and icy rivers that flow between deep canyons. It is a place where nature rules, a refuge for those seeking extreme adventures and absolute solitude. However, this same isolation makes it a dangerous setting where any mistake can have fatal consequences. Redfern-Keily Park also has its enigmatic side. Over the years, hikers have reported strange phenomena, such as unexplained lights in the sky or sounds coming from deep in the forest, which do not seem to have a natural origin. An ancient local legend speaks of the guardian of the mountains, a spirit that, according to the indigenous peoples of the region, protects the lands from those who venture without respect. Some believe that this spirit is the cause of the unexplained disappearances in the area, while others see it as a protector who guides the lost to salvation. Sam, a 20-year-old with a passion for nature, had planned his expedition carefully. His goal was to spend 10 days exploring and disconnecting from the noise of the world. He set out with the essentials: a sleeping bag, thermal clothing, a map, and the determination to overcome any obstacles that might come his way. But how much can enthusiasm prepare you to face the unpredictable? On the fourth day of his adventure, an unexpected storm hit the region. Snow quickly covered the trails, erasing any trace of the path. Sam tried to orient himself using his map, but the conditions were too severe. He decided to return to his vehicle, but upon reaching the place where he needed to be, he realized that he had completely lost his way. What would you do instead? Would you continue onward in the hope of finding shelter, or would you stay still, waiting for help that might never come? As the days turned into weeks, Sam faced challenges that few could endure. He found a stream where he built a makeshift shelter out of branches and snow. There he survived for the first 2 weeks, using the few provisions he had. But when these ran out, he had to rely entirely on his surroundings. He drank water from the stream and gathered whatever food sources he could find, although these were scarce in the extreme winter. During this stage, an accident nearly cost him his life. An accidental fire in his shelter left him without shelter or basic tools, forcing him to move to a lower valley. There he built a new shelter from what little he had, wrapping his legs in the remains of his sleeping bag to protect himself from the cold. In the midst of this desperation, Sam described how each day he fought the temptation to give up. "I thought about my family. That thought kept me going," he recalled. When Sam did not return on October 19th, his family reported him missing to authorities. What followed was one of the most arduous search operations the region had ever seen. Royal Canadian Mounted Police teams, local volunteers, and rescue specialists scoured the area for weeks. Helicopters circled overhead, while rescuers faced the same extreme conditions that had trapped Sam. His mother described those days as a tunnel with no light. Every call that brought no news of Sam was another blow to her hope. His father, however, clung to faith. "Sam has always been strong. If anyone can survive, it's him." But as the weeks passed, even rescuers began to consider scaling back efforts. How close were they to giving up just when he needed them most? On November 26th, 50 days after he disappeared, 2 workers heading to the Redfern Lake Trail found him wandering. He was dehydrated, on the verge of collapse, with signs of frostbite on his limbs. He used makeshift walking sticks to walk, but his determination to keep going had kept him alive. He was rushed to Fort Nelson Hospital, where he began his recovery. Sam Benastick's story is not only a testament to human fortitude, but also a window into the mystery and wonder of nature. It reminds us that man, no matter how prepared, remains small in the face of the vastness of the wild. And although Sam managed to return, many questions remain. Was his resilience the only reason for his survival? Or perhaps, as the legends say, was there something else that guided him to his salvation? The miracle of North Cascades National Park. Robert Schock's amazing survival. Over the years, nature has witnessed mysteries that defy human understanding. Deep forests, untamed rivers, and towering mountains hold secrets that sometimes become the scene of unexplained disappearances. How many people have entered a forest only to never return? Today I bring you a different story, one that mixes anguish, mystery, and an incredible miracle. This is the story of Robert Schock, a man who survived the unimaginable in the heart of North Cascades National Park. On July 27, Robert Schock, a 39-year-old ultramarathon runner, decided to undertake a training routine in one of the most spectacular landscapes in the United States, North Cascades National Park, located in Washington State. This park, known as the Alps of America, is famous for its snow-capped mountains, dense forests, and rushing rivers. Covering nearly 280,000 hectares, it is a place as impressive as it is relentless. Robert planned to cover 20 miles with his faithful dog, Freddie. Nature was his refuge, his passion. However, as he continued on his journey, what seemed like a simple run turned into a nightmare. As he crossed a river, the remains of recent forest fires had altered the terrain, erasing the trails he knew. Disoriented, Robert tried to turn back, but the forest enveloped him in its immensity. What would you do if suddenly the path disappeared before your eyes? To lose your way in North Cascades National Park is to face the unknown. Robert, without water, food, or adequate equipment, depended entirely on his wits to survive. He fed on a giant mushroom he found in the forest, the only source of sustenance that kept him alive. The freezing nights, with temperatures dropping below 10 degrees, forced him to seek shelter in abandoned bear dens. Throughout those 30 days, Robert faced isolation and despair. "There were times when I thought I wouldn't get out of there," he later recounted. Yet each day he gathered strength to look for a way out, guided by the hope of being reunited with his family. Could you stay strong in such a situation? While Robert fought for his life, his family lived through unspeakable agony. From the moment he was reported missing, rescue teams and volunteers combed the park, facing the same extreme conditions that had trapped Robert. Hope faded with each passing day. With no sign of him or Freddie, many began to fear the worst. The leader of the rescue team confessed, "Over time, the chances of finding someone alive decreased drastically, but something told us not to give up." On August 30th, weakened and on the verge of despair, Robert was standing on the bank of a river when he saw a group of hikers in the distance. With the little strength he had left, he screamed for help. Members of the Pacific Northwest Trail Association, who were on a trail in the area, heard his calls and found him. Robert was weak, dehydrated, and showing signs of hypothermia, but he was alive. His faithful dog, Freddie, remained by his side throughout the journey, a companion who also withstood the inclement weather. Both were airlifted to the hospital, where Robert spent nearly a month recovering from the physical and emotional after effects of his odyssey. Robert Schock's story is a testament to human resilience and how hope can keep us going even in the worst of circumstances. But it is also a reminder that nature, while wonderful, is unpredictable and can become a deadly challenge. How many stories like Robert's are left without a happy ending? How much are we willing to risk by venturing into the unknown? We may never have all the answers, but this story teaches us one lesson. Never underestimate the power of human will and the instinct to survive. Nature, in all its majesty, holds secrets that often defy our imagination. It offers us places of incomparable beauty, but it also confronts us with challenges that can turn a simple hike into a fight for survival. Today I bring you a story that combines bravery, ingenuity, and a miraculous rescue. This is the incredible survival of Nante, Niemi, an 8-year-old boy who managed to face the relentlessness of nature and return alive. Porcupine Mountain State Park, located in Michigan, United States, is a vast natural paradise that spans more than 24,000 hectares. This park is known for its dense forests, impressive waterfalls, and mountains covered in vegetation that seem endless. The trails here, although captivating, can quickly become dangerous for those who are not prepared. But there is something else that distinguishes these mountains: their connection to local legends and their reputation as a place where people can easily get lost. Stories of mysterious figures appearing among the trees and echoes that seem to have no origin are part of the folklore surrounding the park. Was it this environment that put Nante Niemi to the test? On May 5, 2023, Nante Niemi and his family were enjoying a camping trip in this park. It was a quiet day, ideal for exploring and enjoying nature. During the afternoon, Nante volunteered to collect firewood for the campfire. What seemed like a simple task soon turned into a nightmare. As he ventured deeper into the forest, he became disoriented and lost his way back. What would you do if suddenly the trees around you all looked the same and the path disappeared before your eyes? For an 8-year-old, the situation was terrifying, but Nante decided to face it with a calm that few adults could match. With night approaching, Nante knew he had to find a safe place. In the cold and darkness, he took shelter under a fallen log, using the leaves and branches around him to protect himself from the icy wind. To stay hydrated, he ate fresh snow, thus avoiding the dangers of dehydration. The solitude and silence of the forest was almost overwhelming. Can you imagine being alone in such a vast place, not knowing if anyone is looking for you? Despite everything, Nante remained hopeful, convinced that his family and rescuers would find him. When Nante's family reported him missing, a massive operation was mobilized. More than 150 people, including rescue teams, volunteers, and police, scoured an area of approximately 100 square kilometers. Searches in Porcupine Mountain State Park are not easy. Dense trees and uneven terrain make visibility and movement difficult. But rescuers refused to give up, knowing that every minute was crucial. 48 hours after his disappearance, Nante was found just 2 miles from his camp. He was unharmed, though tired and hungry, thanks to the measures he took to protect himself. Rescuers were impressed by his calm and the decisions he made to survive. "He is an incredibly strong and brave boy," one of them commented. The reunion with his family was emotional, filled with tears of relief and gratitude. For Nante, the moment was a reminder that his ingenuity and hope had been key to overcoming the greatest test of his life. Nante Niemi's story invites us to reflect on human strength and the importance of teaching the youngest basic survival skills. This 8-year-old boy not only survived, but also showed that even in the most desperate situations, staying calm and hopeful can make a difference. However, it also reminds us of the unpredictability of nature. How prepared are we to face the unknown? We may never know until we find ourselves in a similar situation. And so, concludes our journey through these 3 amazing survival stories. Each of them shows us the strength of the human spirit and how even in the most desperate situations, hope and courage can prevail. What did you think of these stories? Which one impacted you the most? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That helps us a lot to continue bringing you more stories of mystery and adventure. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming journeys into the unknown. See you in the next video, Mystery Explorers. Until then, always remember, nature is as beautiful as it is unpredictable. Take care and keep exploring.